Hey, how y'all doing? Hey Grayson, how you doing? Kind of hard to see if I get in the sun, but thanks for coming along. We'll see if anybody else jumps on, but if we get 4 or 5, we'll do a little walking tour of the... Can you hear me okay? If you can hear me okay, leave me a comment. Grayson, here's one of my caught swarms right here. There's my cabin out here at the farm. That's my bee yard way out there. See if I can zoom in a little bit. All right. Well, let's just walk on down the road. That particular trap is not on the video that I made. I put up 7 that day, and I put 3 more. I put up that one down by my pond, and one down at my neighbor's house. Let's see a couple of other people. I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to get back to the chats. Oh, there they are. Hey Phil, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's just walk on down the... I'll try to stay in the shade, so I can see the screen a little better. It's pretty bright out here. I was really excited this morning because of how many swarms I caught. But then when I went and checked in my at my splits, I had 6. I brought 6 splits out here that I put queen cells in. Brought me back down to earth. I only found 1 queen. I did find evidence, but they looked like they had started to supersede. Let those queens mate, and then they started superseding them. So we'll see how it turns out. But I only got 1 out of 6 as far as I know. But that's okay. We'll keep you honest. Let me flip around so you guys can see where I'm walking. This is a little road leads back to where some of my traps are. It's really pretty out here this time of year. It gets pretty hot and miserable in August. Phil, I've got the part we're standing on is 56, but I really am fortunate that the neighbor next door, this place over here, he sold me and someone else. We split it. There was 137 acres, and I got 60 acres. Basically continued on my street frontage for another 1,400 feet. It's about 2,000 feet deep. So I've got a total of 116 acres out here now. So just really happy about that, because it's hard to get land these days. A lot of people moving in here from out of the area and overpaying for a lot of stuff. So I was really, really happy to get it. Let me see if I can chats go away after a minute, but there they are. Make sure I'm seeing who's in here. Okay, right now it's just Phil and Grayson, but I appreciate you guys joining me. Let me know if you have any more questions. I've got the original 56 acres out here about 7 years ago, and then I've got this 60 acres. All right, we're walking, and then the one that was up is 2 for 3, so you guys can see bees going in and out of this one. Hoping this one caught a little bit bigger. They look pretty busy. There's pollen going in too. But this has my Texas Deeps. The ones that have a green and yellow nail on it. There's my Texas Deeps in there. So I'm looking forward. I got more of those than I probably have equipment for right now. So looks like I'll get busy building equipment. I see I got some comments here. If not, that's okay. This is my first time with the live. It's kind of wanted to experiment with this anyway. I hope the connection stays okay. It tends to be okay when I'm outside, but if I go in the cabin, it gets pretty light. This next one, which is what I'm calling the 4 for 4, fourth one that I came upon this morning. It didn't have very many bees going in and out of it. But when I came back, there was a big cluster at the top. So I think that swarm was just moving in. But yeah, they're all around it. You guys see that? Try to get over here to this shady spot so I can see that. Like I said, I don't know how to make the comments stay up there, but they just kind of come and go. I think when somebody does post a comment, all the comments show up all of a sudden. Somebody else joined. I'm not sure who that is. Need to find myself some. You guys don't want to look at me. Let me show you more of the farm. Oh, there they are. Larimore, how you doing? I was watching your video the other day. You're catching some swarms too, man. That was a monster you caught the other day. That may have been a few days ago. I just watched that video, I think yesterday. That was pretty impressive. Flip you guys around where you can see where we're going here. Well, one didn't want to flip for me. I apologize if I'm not responding quickly to your comments. When I'm out here in the bright sun, it's really hard to see the screen. Let me get over here to the shade. I'm trying to flip the camera around, but it's not working. Oh, okay. All right, sis. Well, it's asking me. Here, I'll just do that. Okay, I got the camera flipped around, but those messages are coming up. I don't know what's happening here. Oh, I think Larimore, you're now a moderator. I don't know if you know what to do, but I think I made you a moderator. So if you see anything, anybody in there trolling, just squash them if you know how. I wouldn't know how to do that. It's a pretty good little walk down here to the next one, but I did want to show you guys something. This land out here is covered with honey locusts, and I hate them. They put holes in your tires and your boots. But this morning when I came out here, this honey locust has blooms on it, and bees are working it. So I'm not sure I'm seeing any now, but see, it's got these little small flowers. You can see that little tiny bee there working it. But I can hear the bees in it. I don't know if I can find one right off. Oh, there's one right there. See that honeybee right there? So now I gotta hate these damn things less, because look at the thorns they have. They're brutal. And they're everywhere out here. I'm still gonna try to kill as many as I can, but I am glad they're good for something. Besides putting holes in my foot and in my tires. Once again, I apologize if you guys are asking questions, because the comments pop up just very briefly and then they go away. So here, I'm gonna stay in the shade. If anybody has a question, go ahead and post it. I'll see if I can catch it before it disappears. And repeat yourself if you need to. I think there's just two of you here, probably Larimore and Phil. All right, let's just keep moving. We'll be getting to two more traps or actually three more traps real quick. They all start to look the same after a little while. There goes the comments up and down while I was in the sun. Sorry, I didn't catch it. I'll have to get back over here to the shady area. It's just too bright for me to read. All right. There we go. Let's see here. How far are you from home? I am, hey Mike, hey Michael. Hey Larimore, I am, I think it's about a 95-mile drive from my house to here. It's pretty far, but gets out of town when I can get out of town. Thanks. Yeah, it is pretty out here this time of year. You're just about to get to a place that's real pretty with the wildflowers. But yeah, let's come over here and look at this. Got another swarm trap right up here. We'll go have a look at it. I think this was what I called my 5 for 5. I couldn't believe it. 2 weeks ago, I was out here and bees were looking at these, but they hadn't moved in. So they moved into one. I have 10 out here. But so I don't know what I'm going to do with all these. So right in this area, you can't tell it now because they close down it. There's yellow flowers. I don't know if you guys can see that. But in the morning, it's just this whole area looks yellow. But these flowers, look at them, they close up. I guess when the heat gets on them, in the morning they're looking straight at the sun and they're wide. Oh, that one just popped open. I don't know if you guys saw that. But they close up. and you can't hardly tell. I got some video this morning. I'll post it. See all that? All those little closed flowers? That's like a blanket of yellow when it's early in the morning. Let's see these. I guess these are called Indian paintbrush. I'm not sure. These pink things. There's some pretty purple flowers here. So this place is really showing off right now. It's not like this year round. You guys probably can tell me what these are, but here's another pretty little flower. And I really like it when several colors come up together. There was a lot more yellow in this little bunch this morning, but you know, that's God giving us a bouquet, a free bouquet of flowers. It's beautiful. Yeah, have a look at this right here. This is, to me, is like one of the prettiest places because it's got lots of flowers. It's got my deer stand, which I have a lot of quality time in. Or hog stand, whatever you want to shoot that day. Over here is my hog trap, and it's also my deer feeder. You have to put something up around your deer feeder so the deer can jump in and try to keep the hogs out and the cows out. Okay, here's another one. This one here, I think, has the biggest. It had the most activity, so I'm thinking, yeah, they're going in with pollen too. So these have the standard frames in them. I'm probably going to need to. This just has frames down to here, deeps, and then this is open. But if I don't get these moved out, if they've been in here 2 weeks, then they've probably built comb in this open area that I'll have to cut off. But they're bumping into me. I actually just got a sting on my arm. So, yeah, they're tired of me. Oh well. They might have come from one of my mean colonies. I got a few of those out here. Let me get over here in the shade and see if I can read you guys' text. I can't see it at all when I'm in the sun. Okay, so now there's nothing there when I get into the shade. DCB, how you doing, DC? Thanks for joining us. If anybody's asked me any questions, if you could maybe repeat it, it'll pop back up again. Yeah, it is time to buy more equipment, Phil. Right. Yeah, it is peaceful out here. I really enjoy, living near the city. You really enjoy these times, especially as you get older. But have a look at these bluebonnets. DC, I've been enjoying your videos. You kind of got to showing more about your yard. Really looking forward to seeing that fill up with bees. I was starting a new yard out there, but I ended up going and getting the equipment. I'm thinking it gets too hot in this spot. I'm thinking about pushing it further back into those trees right there. But I got a couple of stands. I don't know if you guys can see them. The grass is so tall. But I want another yard out here, but I had a couple of colonies. All right, we're coming up on another couple of traps real quick. We're getting to the, I guess you'd call that my rear property line. That fence right there, where that telephone. Have a look at this, guys. Look at that. Honeybee working those bluebonnets. I really got to go back and get this afternoon to get as many as I can, because I didn't make any honey out here last year. It wasn't like this. I caught 2 swarms last year, whereas I'd caught probably 14, 15 the year before. And I think the bees know. I think they know that it's when it's going to be a drought, when it's going to be a good year, and they just decide not to expand when it's going to be a drought. So I've had a good feeling that this year that we're going to have a good season. So I want to make sure I get all the honey supers on I can. I don't know if you guys saw my video of hanging the swarm traps, but this spot right here is what I call a honey hole. 2 years ago, I caught swarms almost in every location, but last year I only caught them in 2 locations. This was one of them. And the other one was that new location, that first one with the triple box on it. So it looks like this one caught a real nice group of bees. And once again, green. So, read any comment. I'm not sure what happened. Ask me if I can add somebody as a moderator. Flip it around here. I should be able to start seeing. All right, cool. Yeah, no kidding, DC. I would hook you up too. Absolutely. Yeah, probably shouldn't be telling you until I ask. Yeah, probably shouldn't be telling you until I ask him, but I was thinking about calling Sarge. He has a piece of property that's not too far from my home. And thinking about asking him if I can bring these bees there to reorient. Maybe offer him a free colony in exchange. He's wanting to buy some bees from me anyway to put out at his farm, keep his ag exemption, but we can just do each other favors for sure. I am going to try to sell a few of these, but we'll see how it goes. Some people don't like to buy caught swarms. I think they survive the varroa mites better, but I'm also going to try to manage them in such a way that maybe I can get some honey off of them, because if I can get them established by May 1st, there's a good, we have another month, 6 weeks or so of pretty good flow before it gets too hot. But I need to get them built up in a box, and I'm thinking about putting 2 nukes side by side, and then just setting a queen excluder and a honey super on top of that, and then putting some little pieces of wood where it would be open to the weather. Sort of like Ian Stepler and Brad Hogg and stuff do with their 666s. Except I'm going to do mine with a single over 2 5-framers or 2 6-frame nukes. I don't know, just anything. I don't want to repeat it last year where I have plenty of bees and no honey. I'll flip this around so you guys can see where we're walking and get over here to the. I'm not going to go park myself there. Those are, let's see if I can flip it around. Yeah, I'm not going to go park myself in that shade. Those are the ones that got me. I do have one person that lives over in Waco that wants to buy some bees from me. I was going to recommend that one to him, but since they're the ones that stung me, he may want to pass on those, but I'm pretty sure that is the largest swarm I've caught out here. Let me show you guys one more thing. It'll take us a few minutes to get there, but I have a real nice tank. We call them tanks in Texas, or pond. And I've got a trap on it. But yeah, I probably reset. I set out 10 traps. 7 are shown in my video. 3 of them, one is down the road a half a mile at my neighbor's, and one is right in front of my cabin, and one is next to the small pond that's up near my bee yard. Those 3. were not on the video. But I did do shorts. I did a short of the one by the pond. And it had bees in it when I got out here this weekend. But I had 9 more that didn't have any bees in them, and they all caught swarms, all 9. I couldn't believe it. I had a feeling it was going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be that good. This is something that puzzles me a little bit. This is obviously some kind of aster. And I honestly thought we got asters in the fall, not in the spring. But, you know, I'm like everybody else. I didn't pay that much attention to flowers until I got bees. And now I really pay attention to flowers. I'm sure you guys do too. And blooms in trees. I never even thought about trees making blossoms. Now I look up these, I want to see if you guys can see it, but, oh yeah, that's good. That, see if I can zoom in there. That's a mesquite tree, and that honey's really good, and it's just starting to bloom. It comes out and then it blooms. It doesn't bloom first. So can you guys see those fronds coming out on that mesquite? That's a big nectar source for us here in central Texas. Well, all over Texas, really. Yeah, that's really good there, and it makes some really good honey. But you know, I have so much diversity that I can't call it anything but wildflower honey here. Thank you guys for joining me. I apologize if you're asking me questions, but they only show up for just a second, and then if I'm in the sun, I can't see them. I'm gonna step over here into the shade and see if there's any questions I can answer. See if anybody has any questions. Texas guy, you're not, oh gosh, now I'm drawing a blank on your name. Ryan, Brian, gosh, what is it? Help me out here. I've got text. We've been texting each other quite a bit. You can take the big one, Texas guy. I'm gonna give you the pick of the litter is what I'm gonna give you. Well, I'm gonna sell it to you, but it's gonna be very, very reasonable. Cheaper than anybody else is selling any bees for sure. I've got a website, rtxhoneybees.com, that has my prices for both the caught swarms and for the traps that I make. I don't offer any delivery for sure, but it'll say none available on there now, but you know, that was before today. Problem is, I've got most of them on my Texas Deep frames, and I'm sure not many people want to buy those because they don't have the setup for it. Although to run a Texas Deep, all you'd have to do is stack a deep and a medium, and you can run them. It's not that hard. Okay, there's some. You're going to put 2 8 frames over 3 5 frames. That makes sense. Huh. Yeah, I got no problem with aster. That's definitely gives us a good flow in the fall. I don't know what the bees pick this time of year, but you know, there's some more of it right there. I really wish I had done this earlier, because you guys, those yellow flowers that are just basically closed up, they're pretty amazing when they're open and fall in the sun. There's some elm trees. We got some elm out here. Of course, it comes out early. It blooms early. It's kind of like the maple trees. The blooms come out first before the leaves. We're almost back here to the pond. When I hung my swarm traps and made that video, you know, this was full of water, but it's starting to dry out now. Still good moisture out here, but I don't complain about too much rain. I know what droughts are all about, so I don't complain at all. Yeah. Here's my big tank. It gets really low in the summer. Gets down to kind of just a deep pool right there. But in the winter it fills up and gets quite big and quite nice. But yeah, here we go. Some more bees, what everybody came to see. Oh yeah, you see those are bringing in pollen. This pond has a beaver that I need to get rid of. It's built its den all in this dam. And eventually that dam is going to collapse because it hollows it out. So I got some beaver traps, but need to figure out how to get rid of it. Them. Hey Alex, thanks for joining us. Yeah, you guys can check out Alex. He's in that video. I should have told you I was coming out, Alex. Still not too late. I'll be here today and tomorrow, so come on out if you want. And the comments are staying up a little longer now, thank goodness. All right, see you later, Lorraine. I didn't even, I'm Larry, no, it's Larry Moore. Okay, yeah. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate it. If you hadn't already left. Don't use your name. Well, you're lucky I forgot it then. Because I would have, although I still haven't edited that video where I mentioned you and thanked you for that, those 3D printed frame holders. But that video was a mess because my phone kept overheating. All right, well, I'm gonna head back up to the cabin here, and if y'all want to hang in here, you can, but it'll take me about 5-10, probably close to 10 minutes to get from here to there. But if you want, I'll show you the other pond. I'll show you my bee yard and the trap that's in front of my cabin. Too bad we can't see you. It's kind of a little bit midday, so probably not going to see any pigs running around. I did jump a deer this morning when I was out. Flip it around a little bit and let you guys see the scenery instead of looking at me. Let me see if there's any new comments. See if anybody else has joined. There's Alex. All right, Alex, we'll see you later. Thanks for dropping in. Can't really, Like I said, it's hard to read that comment. Yeah, Alex, I'll be back out. It'll be a while. I got a canoe trip with some old JC buddies that I'm going on next weekend. And the weekend after that, it's Boy Scout training that I'm helping out with. So, but you can never tell. I might slip down here on a Friday or a Monday. Sometimes I look for any excuse I can to come down. Cost of gas shocked the hell out of me when I filled up last night, though. It has jumped. Thought Obama had been back in the White House, but I'm not sure he ever left. Hey, Alex, I don't know if you're still there, but I guess these old honey locust thorn trees are good for something. The bees are working these flowers on them. I didn't even know they bloomed like that, but oh well, at least there's something decent. Look at that, and that's a pretty impressive mesquite tree there. They don't get that big very often. That's a nice one, and it's starting to bloom too at the top. That's probably only lasts 2 or 3 weeks, but you can see they're starting to bloom. So I got to get those honey supers on right now. That's what I'm going to do in this afternoon, is putting on as many as I can. How do you... Oh, you're talking about the gas tank. Gotta be careful with us, DC. You say tank around Texans and they think you're talking about the pond. It's like, how do you keep your pond from going below half? You can pray a lot. We do that, but it's about the only way I can keep my tank from going dry. Some pretty flowers. Tell you what, DC, I was noticing in your video, you just sort of dug a hole and it filled up with water. That was pretty interesting. That's going to be a really nice setup you got there. Looking forward to seeing that. Soon I'll be setting up another bee yard on my other property. I don't know who all on here had heard that, but I own 56 acres here and another 60 next to it. So those bee yards will be about quarter mile apart, maybe something like that, based on the way the bee flies. As far apart as I can get them. DC, I don't know if you were on here, but we're kind of backtracking. Going back by that's my triple deep one there that's got bees in it too. If you can see them coming in and out or not. But my intention is to come out here either tonight. I got to make a decision. There's a nice blueberry patch here. I brought my mom down here. Well, I really enjoyed her visit. I know we're not going to have her that much longer, but whenever I can spend time with my mom, I really enjoy it. But I brought her down here and took her picture in these blue bonnets. Aren't they amazing? Some pretty yellow flowers coming up there too that weren't here. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's what Texas is known for right there. Looks like a postcard. Got these interlopers here. trying to steal the show. I gotta come down here. We don't get this. This is not all the time, so man, when it's like this, I really like to enjoy it. Look at that. How you like that palette? There's God. There's God's work right there. You can believe what you want to, but I don't know how you can not believe when you see that. That's not made. See that this is the mesquites. They're just starting to bloom out. Bees will really be on that when they open up. We have a pretty short flow. I'm going to say it's April, May, and June, with probably now till middle of May the sort of peak, and then it starts winding down, and by July it's over. You can harvest your honey. And then here where I am, there's a plant that blooms in August that'll contaminate your honey. It's called Snow on the Prairie. Great for the bees though, because it's got pollen and nectar when there's nothing else available. So, but you don't want your honey supers on. I learned that the hard way the first year. I harvested not very much honey. It was like 32 pounds, but you couldn't eat it. So now what I do, and I love fall honey. So now what I do is take my honey supers off, let them just fill their brood area for winter stores, and then in September 15th is when I put honey supers back on, and I run them till end of October, and try to pull some fall honey about November 1st. Of course, last year, I don't know if you guys saw, but the honey out here crystallized, so I'm gonna have to keep a closer eye on it and see if I can get it off quicker. That's good, DC. Yeah, it's fun. That's one of the things that's really fun about YouTube is watching the season. Somebody put a map of the United States that showed like pollen count map, and it's just like it looks like a fungus that grows from south to north. And what's interesting is even though the northern climates have a shorter season, everything seems to be in more abundance and the days are longer. So you guys catch up real fast. You can understand why they're migratory beekeepers. I mean, you start in the south and work your way north. Why not if that fits your personality? Doesn't fit mine, but economically that makes sense. Let me see if you guys can show you. I don't know if you can see it, but there's dewberries, tons of dewberries out here. They were covered with white blossoms. They've fallen off, and now the berries are on. There's the berries. They're green. A couple of weeks, those will start filling out. They'll turn red and then turn black or dark blue. And man, they're really good, but they're a lot of work picking them. But you need to put a little cream on those, and you have something. DC, I noticed you're cutting down a bunch of, was it blackberries? I mean, looks like those would probably be good to eat, but you'd have to cut them into rows to be able to get to them because they probably tear you up trying to work them. All right, we're coming back to the cabin here. There's my barn. You guys probably saw these in some of my videos. The grass is crazy deep. My neighbor keeps his cows on here, but he hadn't put them on here in a while. That fence right there is in such bad shape. I think that's the reason. It's hard to hold them. But at least I own that property next door now, so. But it's nice when the cows come over here and mow the grass for me. Oh, I've got a dog. Look at that. Looks like he's in good health. Hey, puppy. Might be a chupacabra. All right. Hey, DC. There's a nice swarm. Texas bee guy. You might want to check that one out. Although that one I think is on standard frames. If you want them on standard frames, I can set one up on medium frames if you want. But Last time I did that, the bees drew the comb right off the bottom edge. They didn't start it inside the frame. I'm gonna follow this little dog. He's skittish, which is good, because I don't need another dog. I've got my little white dog that would get eaten if I left him out here. Give you guys a peek at my bee yard, but pardon me if I don't walk in there, because I like to cover my face when I go in there. I've got a few in here that will come out and sting me just for the hell of it. You can see where I've been working out here. Those two swarms there, that's the Alabama swarm and the one for my mother-in-law's house. I've got them combined in one 10 frame with a divider. And I just leaned the boxes up nearest their entrance so the bees could crawl in. Like I said, if I had my head covering on, I'd walk in there and give you a closer look. I'll walk down here and show you the tank. I apologize if anybody's asking questions. It's hard for me to see out here in the sun on the screen, and the comments don't stay up very long. Ah, look at there, Lisa's here. Hey Lisa, thanks for joining us. I don't know how long you've been hanging out there, but I don't know. Yeah, the tree's blocking it, but way on the other side of the pond is a trap. Yeah, it's hard to see. Yeah, I'll walk over there. What the heck? But yeah, this is my small tank. I'll wade through this deep grass. Like I said, I wish my neighbor would put his cows over here. They'd get fatter and I'd get free lawn service. These tanks are full of fish, but since I've got to messing with bees, I don't think I've fished them. I need to get out here and catch some just to eat. But they're really clear right now. There's that little puppy dog. He's just a wild dog, I guess. It's not running with a pack though. I wish Alex was still here. Him and his buddies, this was all grown up through here. They helped me clear it out to get back here. You used to have to park the thorns to get through here, but now you can just walk back. Didn't want to have to do that after dark when I have to move these swarms. This one's cheating. It was here. It had bees 2 weeks ago. So I can't count it as part of today's group. But I do have 10 boxes out here and they all 10 have bees. These are bringing in a lot of pollen. This is another one where I'm probably going to end up having to cut comb off the bottom of the frames, because I think this one just has standard. It might have Texas Deeps in it. The Texas Deeps, I don't think they'll build them all the way out the bottom, but the Deeps, the ones that I have 4 Deeps in the top, if you leave them for more than a week, you get a little bit of comb built off the bottom. $20 or $25 in assorted flowering seeds. Cool. Okay, Lisa. Well, I wish you had gotten here early. We walked all the way to the back, but that's all right. We'll do it again. It's just like what you can go back. I'll post this, and the part that I think you'll appreciate, Lisa, is the flowers that I showed back there were amazing. But yeah, go back and look at it when it's posted, and it's a special year out here. Like was saying earlier, I had probably 9 traps up or more, maybe. I think I had, yeah, something like that last year, and I caught 2 swarms the whole time. And here I go this year, and I'm already caught 10 out here. And funny thing is, you saw those boxes leaned up against the hives over there. That's the reason I'm transferring all of them out, because I'm out of swarm traps. When I take these back to Dallas to reorient, I'm gonna have some empty spots. I'll put up my 5 or 6, you know, not that I need any more bees, but you know, it's just so much fun seeing how many you're gonna get in a year. But yeah, I gotta get back out here and do some bee work, because I've got supers on a lot of those, but I need to go back and check. I'm sure, I don't know if the swarms I caught originated here. There's quite a bit of feral bee population in this area, but some of mine might have swarmed, so I might have to move some things around. I'm not going to do full inspections. I'm just going to kind of go with what I have, and if somebody's filling up their supers, I'm going to give them another one, or steal from somebody that's not filling up theirs, and just move them around as much as I can to get as much honey as I can. Because I am due. This is my 2nd summer out here, and I've gotten hardly any honey at all. I hope I'm a little better beekeeper, but you never know. So we got a few more people here. Keith, Cajun Homestead, and then Galloway Lights. All right, I'm gonna sit down for a second, guys. Let y'all see my pretty face. That's what you came for, right? All right, DC, it's great to have you on, man. Look forward to seeing how your deal's coming out. You've put in a lot of work down there. It's gonna be nice. All right. Yeah, I've got another trap a half mile down the county road. My neighbor called me last night. He doesn't ever call me. I call him my neighbor, but he's a half mile down the road. That's where you have neighbors out in the country. But he called me, and I'm like, I don't know, usually something might be wrong. But he told me that a few days ago he saw the biggest cloud of bees he'd ever seen in his life. And then they came and they just covered my swarm trap box over by his house. So I stopped by there on my way in and checked on them. There are bees in there. But thought that was neat. I wish I'd gotten that on video. Well, there was a question there. What's going on here? I'm just out showing off. It's show and tell. Your name's Brad, right? Yeah, it's Brad. I have trouble keeping these names. You guys need name tags like I have. See, even Lisa put her name at the end of hers to help us. You know, she's a little older than me, so she probably needs the help a little more. Had to take that, Lisa. I think you're a whole year older than I am, maybe. I might be catching you next in June. Well, you know, it's amazing, Galloway Lights, that it's held up, because if I walk in that cabin, it'll hang up for sure. So, you know, it's AT&T. It's all I know. But yeah, my bee yard's out there. Like I said, you know what I'll do? While I got everybody here, you are young at heart, Lisa. I like how you get out there with your daughter. I guess, is that your husband? That looks like you got more energy than all of them. I'm gonna walk in here and get my veil. It's the Dirt Rooster Special. There's my puppy dog. You wanna say hi to Mo? You can come out, Mo, if you want. I locked him in the cabin because that tall grass and he don't get along too good. All right, I got my Dirt Rooster special. I think you got these on the internet for like 2 for $10 or something from Amazon. But I'll go out here. I'll probably get stung up a little bit, but at least I maybe won't get any face stings. You know, this year seems to be like that's all I get is face stings. I got one in my eye and one on the side of my nose, and that was in Capel. I did move those. You guys might have seen me complaining about colony C8, which is the mean bees in Capel. I moved those out here this weekend, so they're out here on the mean streets. Whenever I get one that gets a little spicy in town, they get moved out here. So eventually maybe I'll requeen everything, but I really want these genetics that these bees have out here, because I don't think they're naturally aggressive, but this actually is queen rearing. There's 3 colonies there. The one in the middle seemed to be doing the best, and I found a queen and marked her. So look how busy these bees are. Normally if they're running out like that, they're running out to sting me, but they are working. Several doing orientation flights. But anyway, I found 1 queen out of the 3 compartments. I found eggs and brood over here, and I marked her. And then I have 6 from my splits that I did, my walkaway splits. Now I brought them out here, and these 3, I didn't find the queen, but I found eggs in there. And then I saw where they were superseding. Yeah, the bees are really busy. Back here's the ones I moved still have those straps on them. And the ones to the left of them, they're probably getting ready to swarm because I didn't give them a super. I took away half their honey. They're getting a super this afternoon, but they're super strong. But they may be getting ready to swarm. You see how they're piling up on the outside. There's nowhere to go, girls. All the hotels are full. Yeah, the bees are after me. Just got my first sting in the shoulder. I'm headed back to the cabin. Let's flip you guys around. Yeah, see how they're attacking me? I got some mean ones out here. Make Bruce Jenny proud. See why I wanted to cover my face? What is it about phones? These don't like smartphones. I'm getting lit up a little bit here. Trying to turn it around so you guys can see me get stung. No sense in getting stung if you can't post it on YouTube, right? All right, Mo. Get back underneath this. Something about walking under the open awnings. All right, let me pick the stingers out if you guys don't mind. I think I got one in the shoulder and one in the arm. So were you at Bruce's, Lisa, this morning, helping him out? I'm gonna sit back down here. Whew, that was quite a walk. Seems like the bees are leaving me alone. It's hard to hold the phone and pick stingers out. There's one right there in my wrist. I'm just gonna wear it like a badge of honor, like Greg Burns. All right. Whew. Let's see, how many stings was that? I think I got 3. Wow, 18. Lisa, I bought, it's just something that, you know, one of those unsolicited things, but I've got a triple layer. It's called Cocoa Bees USA. It's a fully vented triple layer full bodysuit. And I mean, it's kind of a pain to put on, but, and I haven't been stung through that yet. And it's nice and cool. You can basically slip down to your underwear, and I'll try not to make any videos for that. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever had 18. I don't know how many. I think the most I've had is probably blocked it out, but I usually get about 5 or 6 and realize I could do something else. Yeah, it is a pain, but I'm sure you're like we are, though. It gets so hot later on. If you don't have a vented suit, it's just miserable. Those jackets that I wear, I would have died today messing with those bees, wearing those things. I'll take this off. The bees aren't bothering me too much. Yeah, once they mark you, Lisa, you're in for it for the day. You can smoke yourself as much as you want, but they might not like your jeans either. I notice certain things I wear. Uh, when I wear like a black stocking cap, which I wear quite a lot, those bees hate that thing. Fortunately, they can't get through it, but man, you can just hear them buzzing all over it, trying to sting it. My friend Alex, who was on here earlier, I thought he was going to go help, clear brush. So I gave him some black gloves, work gloves, and he was in the yard with me, and the bees just started stinging him through those work gloves. And then I went and gave him some of the ones I wear, which are the 9 mil from Harbor Freight. And well, hey, Aussie Beekeeping. Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. You're going to have to go back and look at the reruns of the farm tour. We went and looked at almost every trap I have out. I didn't go walk down the street. I got one about a half mile down the road at my neighbor's on his fence, but it has bees in it too. But yeah, I've got 10 swarm traps out here, and they're all full of bees. How's your weather there? I think you're heading into winter, aren't you? Did you ever get any honey at all this year, Aussie? I know you guys had a lot of rain early on and a lot of struggles this year. And I'd like, if you can, if you give me an update on the Varroa situation. I heard they were back there. I can't imagine how you're going to stop them, but I sure hope you can. There's one of my traps there that's got bees in it. It's right out in front of the cabin. I don't know if you saw my bee yard when I was out there getting my butt stung off. It's right out there. Gotta protect the hoo-ha, Lisa. It's important. Are you talking to me, Galloway Lights? I hope to get honey, but I haven't gotten much. I got like 35 pounds out here last year. We had a really bad drought. It's nothing like that. I only caught 2 swarms last year. And I was saying earlier, I don't know if you were on, but I think the bees know. I think the bees know when you're going to have a good year and they're not. And you get less swarming. When you get a lot of swarming, I think the bees are happy and they're reproducing, and there's going to be an abundance that year. If you don't get swarming, it's probably going to be a tough year. Aussie might can either confirm or deny that situation with his year. I don't know, because he's coming out of his year. I thought I saw, Aussie, where you were getting a little bit of fall honey. I don't know if you take that or not. I love fall honey. I actually like it better than spring honey. Ah, still raining. Yeah, I brought out one of my hives that is mean. I can't have mean bees in the neighborhood. So I'll bring them out here, and then I brought out one of my caught swarms. I put them with the ones that I call the Alabama bees. So one half of the hive, it's basically two nukes together in a 10 frame. They capped them in the spring. You must put on drawn frames and remove them. Never got that down. Yeah, the that's the hardest part. I mean, that, 2 years ago when I had bees out here, it was a great year, but all my bees were building comb, and they ran out of steam before we got to honey. This year I have, I want to say, like 13 boxes of drawn comb, so that's going to take my excuses away. Plus, we maybe have a good year. Last year, I only, after the first year, I think I only had about 4 frames of drawn comb. So, and last year they didn't even fill those up very well, just because it was terrible. The lack of rain here was crazy. But it's different this year. Hopefully we can hold on, maybe get a few more good rains and make a honey crop. I was hoping for 300 pounds last year and I was hoping for 300 to 500 pounds last year, 300 pounds minimum, and I got 35 pounds. That's how bad it was. So I'm hoping for 300 to 500 again this year. We'll see how it goes. Nothing like those Canadians who get 150 pounds per colony. Hey Lisa, when I saw your video and all your bees absconded, man, I ran out and checked on mine. I haven't had that issue. Out here there were a couple of that were light, but I think it was the fact that I put in drawn comb already, and so I didn't put in any just straight foundation. So, but I didn't feed them much either. But most of mine stuck around, and I shook a lot of bees in there too. So I think if you get some of those minis drawn out, I don't know how you get them drawn out without bees in them, but if you can get them drawn out and reuse them, I bet you have better luck. I would break my heart if I had gone through the effort of grafting and then all the bees left. I guess I need to learn to graft though. It's time. Hey Aussie, how far is your out yard to where you live? If you're still there. Yeah, I just don't know how you stop the varroa. I really don't. Just gotta probably learn to live with it and fight them like we do. How do I keep track of what is sugar water and what is honey when trying to do a spring harvest? That's a great question. What I do personally is I don't open feed at all. So if I'm feeding, it's going to be, I might do entrance feeding, I might do in a feeder shim, and I might do a frame feeder. And when I do feed, I put an X on the top of the honey frames that are on when I'm feeding. So that way I know that not to pull those frames. Now if they empty those frames, I'll scrub that X out because it's good to go again. But I keep track of that because I don't want to have adulterated honey. Plus, I have a plant out here called Snow on the Prairie that if those are on the colonies and it gets that in, it'll ruin your honey crop. It doesn't take much of it at all. So when those are on in August and July, I put an X on those for sure because I don't want to harvest that and it contaminates the honey. It's got some kind of toxin that burns your throat. So that's how I do it. That's how I keep track of it. Just with a simple red or black X on top of the frame whenever they've been fed with those frames on. I'm sure I'll lose some honey that never had sugar or water in it, but that's just the trade-off. I haven't fed much this year, this fall, this spring, because we've had, you see how the swarms are out here. Why would I want to accelerate these bees to swarm even more? I did feed the the queen mating nukes. I fed those. Yeah, on that, I'll see on that. I finally figured out how to find the comments on it. You just got to swipe up. Hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, it's a little closer than I have down here. It's an hour and a half to 2 hours. Uh, yeah, last fall when I harvested, I mean, I was so desperate for honey. I just, if it had a little small patch in the middle, I took it. I took it and tried to get it. Yeah, that would help. That's really nice of him too. Yeah. Yeah, and I can imagine that if you move them, then they don't have anywhere to fly back to, so they're going to stick around. I'm not doing peppermints. I thought about it, but last year I guess it was the drought, but my hive beetles were not bad at all. The year before I'm not going to say they were terrible, but I had more, and I bought all the beetle barns and the beetle traps and did diatomaceous earth below the colonies, and I did all kind of stuff. Didn't The peppermints weren't a thing 2 years ago that I knew of, but last year I just, I'm not even. I have some beetle traps on there that I haven't even didn't even freshen up last year, but I just hadn't had a beetle issue. I would try it if I had them. Okay, well that's something. Uh, Also, it is nearest town is Richland. That's why I call this place my company RTX Honeybees. It's Richland, Texas, and it's a little bit south of Corsicana, Texas. That's probably the closest town of any size. My farm's halfway between Richland and Wortham, Texas, and a little bit further down Highway 14 is a little town called Mahia, which if someone's not from here, they're going to call it Mexia, Mexia, Mahia, Texas. So about 15 miles south of Corsicana, Texas is probably the best way to tell you how to get here. Not too far off of Interstate 45, which is between Dallas and Houston. I made a video today, actually of checking these traps, but I videoed a little bit. I have to drive through the heart of Dallas to get here. That's a pain, especially in the afternoons on a Friday. Not so bad when I come out early in the morning. No, as a matter of fact, I I had some that were getting mean and Capel, and man, they were packing in the honey too. I took the honey super off of them and moved it to another colony, but I moved them out here this morning, the ones that were mean. So I just keep a few colonies in the neighborhood, and when they start to get mean, I just pack them up and move them out here. I don't take any chances. I could try to requeen them, but you got to tear them apart to requeen them, and that's enough to make them go around and sting people. I don't know how the people do it that don't have options of where to take them. But all it takes is one neighbor complaining, and I probably would have to get rid of my bees at home. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got to get a super on them this afternoon. I, I took the super off, and I'm gonna give them one so they can take advantage out here too. And the one next to them is really mean. It's probably the ones that got after me just now when I was out there, but I want to requeen them so bad. But heck, we're so close to the honey flow, I might as well just ride it out until June and July, and then requeen them if I have the queens to do it with. I'll just probably steal from one of my smaller ones. That'll make some good video though when I requeen them, because I think I'm going to do a shook swarm with them. Take all their brood away, shake them down, and give them some brood from a nice colony. Say, deal with it. Also, something I noticed about your bees, I've got a colony out here that reminds me of your bees. Your bees run around like crazy. They move on those frames. And I have one that's like that, and they'll fly all over you, but they don't really sting me. They're just, even the queen is just schizophrenic. Yeah, uh, exactly, Galloway. One of the things I'm going to do with the brood that I take away from them, I'm going to spread it out among the yard just so it doesn't go to waste. You know, everybody might get a little bit meaner, but I don't want to waste the brood that they have. And I've heard that, bees, even from a mean queen, it's kind of the whole colony gets a certain personality, but who knows? But hopefully the other colonies don't make queens off of them. But yeah, I'm going to shake the bees off and move that, try to recycle that brood into some of the weaker colonies. I'll do it without bees because I don't want those bees going in and killing my queens. But those are the kind of things that make beekeeping fun, in my opinion, is dealing with those issues. And sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. Like I said, I've been really disappointed with my flyback splits. I've still got 8 more to check when I get back to Capel. It's been 14 days since I moved the cells, but those cells I got off of those weren't nearly as good as what I got last year when I didn't do a flyback split. I just took the queen away and let them make queen cells. They made some really good cells and got some good queens out of it, but I listened to Gus on Bruce's show and thought that was I tell you what, there's some good things about it. So the colony that the bees flew back to, especially the big one, they built that thing back in no time because they were really strong with all those foragers. And he was right; those foragers went back to making comb so fast. So when they tell you that only nurse bees make comb, well, the nurse bees went away when I moved the main part of the colony, and those foragers came back and built comb faster than I've seen bees that didn't swarm build comb. So that was the good part of it, but the bad part of it was I just wasn't happy with the quality of the cells that I got from the colony I moved. Yeah, Galloway, the flyback means, one way people make queen cells that are afraid of grafting like I am, is you go to a strong colony that has a lot of drones, and you remove the queen and put her in a nuke. They're going to automatically make a lot of queen cells for you. And that's what I did last year. But I got to listening to some chats online, and it was specifically Gus Mitchell, and he talked about a flyback split, and it was exactly what I did, except what he does, or he used to do. He grafts now, but you take the colony that you want the cells made from, you find the queen, you move the colony, and let them start making cells, and you put the queen back in the original location with like a frame of brood and a frame of food and foundation or just regular drawn comb. And he said that they'll reestablish real fast, and he was right about that. They reestablished that colony in no time. They did get pretty darn mean. These bees were super gentle, and when you took all their brood away and all their food, their attitude changed. They weren't nice anymore. But they're calming down again now because they're building back up. But that's what a flyback split is. I hope I explained that well enough. And I did that with 2 colonies. And one of the colonies that I did a flyback on, they actually swarmed out of there. They made a cell and took off with the queen. But I caught her in the bush and got them back to work again. Yeah, they do make the best comb. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's another reason I got to get these traps home because, well, some of them are using my Texas Deeps. I'm not worried about them building past the bottom of the frames, but quite a few of these boxes out here just have regular Deeps in the top and there's a blank space in the bottom. And they'll keep building. They'll build just a little U shape down off the frames. And you'll end up having to cut a lot of it off when you move them to another box. If you give them, you know, a week or two, they'll build into the open space in the swarm trap. Yeah, my next thing I think I'm going to do is try to figure out, you know, I've got to learn to graft. I don't need the bees, don't need the queens, but I need the experience. All right, I'll tell you what, guys, I've got to get busy and start building some, putting on some honey supers. Take advantage of this beautiful day we have out here. So I sure appreciate everybody jumping on with me. This has been a lot of fun. First time I ever did it, so I'll post it online. You guys can go back and see the flowers I showed earlier on in the video and all the swarm traps. But I've really enjoyed it, so if I know how to end this thing, I'm going to go ahead and end it. See y'all later. Well, I'm not sure how to end this thing. I hit the X and it says, "Are you sure you want to stop streaming?" And it doesn't have a yes or a no or there.